The Fordham Rams and the Yale Bulldogs. Justin Galanti, Christine Huber. Glad you're with us. Let's take a look at our players to watch this afternoon. Christine, it's a very young Fordham team. They rely a lot on first-year players and sophomores. But how about the way Lena Tervo's career has started? 5 games, and she's contributed to 9 goals already.
She's definitely already proved that she can score goals. She can produce offense. Tell you, it's tough as a freshman, though, to have that much pressure on your back to be the team's leading scorer. Let's see what you can produce today.
Some commonalities in Yale's last couple games. Goals directly off corner kicks from Mars Akins.
Yeah, she is just so physical, so gritty, and that's why she's always on the back end of these crosses and been scoring them, banging them in the back of the net. We're going to see her today from the back. She's going to send some long balls and just try to release that pressure that Fordham's putting on this Yale defense.
It's the 5th all-time meeting between Yale and Fordham. The Bulldogs have won all 4 prior meetings last year. A 4-1 victory in the Bronx for the Bulldogs. And we're underway. Glad you are along for the ride. Christine, a little bit of a different look in Sarah Martinez's starting 11 today. Obviously, Shamgoshin starting in goal, which we mentioned. But also Alana Butcher gets her first start of the season as well. It was her service on the corner that set up the 1 goal that Yale scored against Stony Brook Thursday night.
Yeah, we're going to see her tonight. She's going to take those corner kicks. She's going to take those direct kicks as well. And, they've just really focused on that this year so far. The coaching staff focusing on those free kicks, and it's paid off.
On the Fordham side of things, other than a game against Fairfield where they had a lot of injuries, it's a pretty regular starting 11 that Magnus Nielrud has, other than Abby Doyle, who is now starting for the 3rd straight game, hadn't played in the first couple of the season. Good takeaway in the middle of the field by Logan Jacobs there for Yale. Bulldogs going with the gray at home for the first time this season. Shamgoshin was pretty solid, especially coming off the bench, ice cold in the second half in the Stony Brook match. Made 2 saves in just over 41 minutes of action and looked really comfortable in doing so.
I thought she really did. I mean, they really didn't skip a beat. She's athletic. She's going to be able to stop those shots. And now it should be, hopefully, a lot less pressure than what she just got thrown into the other day.
Ella Guth forward with it here for Fordham. We mentioned Magnus Nielrud, the head coach, now in his 3rd season, leading the Rams after 23 years as the head coach at the University of Bridgeport. Won a Division III national championship in 2018. He was the 2-time national coach of the year. But this was really a full rebuild when he took over at Fordham. And now it's starting to be his players. The overwhelming majority of the roster are players that he brought in. Many of them are freshmen and sophomores, but it is his group now.
And that's exactly the key, right? They're young players, but they're his players. And it's a lot to rebuild a program, start a program from the ground up, and try to make it as successful as what he built up at the University of Bridgeport.
For the reference point, Fordham has not had a winning record since 2016, but off to a great start this year. 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, and had the 4-0 of destruction of Stonehill on Thursday night. Meanwhile, the Yale storyline is fairly obvious. 3 straight shutouts, and they have not conceded a goal in more than 302 minutes entering this match.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just, insane, especially with the teams that they have been playing. This defense is just working as one unit, and not only are they is the goalkeeper limiting the shots, it's actually the defenders, the defense, that's getting involved and getting in front of any shot that's taken, so it doesn't even make it to the goal.
Yeah, Sarah Martinez has been very happy with the number of blocked shots that her defense has produced this year. This will be a free kick for Yale, taken by the captain, Nana Young, senior out of Finland, making her 49th appearance and 48th career start today. One of the many young players that Fordham relies on is Addison Green, the freshman goalkeeper, who makes her 6th start today. She's from Newmarket, Ontario. 2 shutouts already and a 0.80 goals against average. Fordham is giving up a goal and a half per game, but a lot of that is skewed by the 1 game against Fairfield where they conceded 5. Cahalan does well to win a corner here, and Yale will get the first set piece of this match just about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, and that Fairfield team, I mean, they are just loaded with strikers, loaded with goal scorers. So I know that's not the result they wanted, Fordham wanted, but, it's a good team that knows how to put the ball in.
So Alana Butcher will take this corner from the same spot she set up the goal Thursday night. Service comes just to the top of the sixth. It's loose in there. Fordham able to find it and clear the ball away from trouble.
Lena, you're staying too deep there. You're staying too deep there when they have the ball here.
Yale scored 5 goals this year, Christine, and 3 of them have come directly off of corners. So their set pieces have been pretty dynamic to start this season.
Yeah, and that's one of the focuses that they wanted to work on, and they have one of the coaches working on it offensively and defensively for them, and they obviously haven't gave up a direct kick on the defensive end.
Bit of an underhit pass there from Sham Goshen, but Nana Young does well to keep it away from the Fordham pressure. Talking with both head coaches, they want to press today, so we could see some high-octane action and some goals scored. So
yeah, Magnus and this Fordham crew here, they are going to be high pressuring. They want to put these back three of Yale under pressure and make them force the ball up in the midfield.
Pass for Tina Tyke did not get through.
And that's a perfect example right there. Put the pressure on the back three and win it in the midfield.
This is Ava Giudice. Pass was blocked away by Meredith Phillips, and Yale tries to spring back the other way. Phillips has had a good season so far. 1 assist in the first 4 matches of the year, and now a foul goes against Yale. By the way, our head referee this afternoon is Matthew Mercier. Just about 69 degrees as we get started. Not much wind. Beautiful afternoon here in New Haven. Giudice, the sophomore, sends this one forward. And it's all the way out for a goal kick. What do you think the key components Yale's backs can do today to support a first-year keeper making her first start?
Well, I mean, first thing's going to be limit shots. Second thing is still going to be block those shots so it doesn't get to her. And we know Yale likes to play short like this. So with Fordham's pressure, that back line, they may have to send some long balls just to open up that space for their offensive players.
Jacobs does well to work around a defender, finds Meredith Phillips now. Tina Tyke was making a run, had to slow up for the ball for a moment, and it's poked away from her. Fordham's wins this year: Manhattan, Drexel, UAlbany, and Stonehill. The tie was against Wagner, and the loss against Fairfield that we talked about. This is Lucas trying to connect with Julia Acosta. Sends this across, comes all the way to the back post. Tervo couldn't settle it, but Fordham does win a corner. And now first set piece of the match for the Rams. Fordham averages 5 corner kicks taken per game. And they scored off a couple set pieces in the Stonehill match Thursday night. Service comes to the back post. It's over everybody. Abby Borchers gave a leap for it. Stays in play for quite a while, and apparently it stayed in the whole time. Sent back into the area. Well handled there by Tina Tyke. Comes right back to her, and she clears it away.
That was quite the scrum on the corner kick. I think there were like 20 players on the goal line.
Well, Fordham's done a good job getting the ball, and when they lose it, getting it back quickly so far in this match. And now a foul here against Booker for Yale. The Bulldogs started the season at Hofstra, lost 2-1, and then they've rattled off 3 wins in a row. Home for St. John's, at Oregon State, and home for Stony Brook Thursday night. Free kick here for Abby Doyle. And again, just a little bit overhit, so another goal kick for Sham Goshen. First year out of East Providence, Rhode Island, played at the Providence Country Day School. And again, came in early in the second half in the last match against Stony Brook and now gets her first career start this afternoon. Certainly must be a nice situation to make your first start when the team's playing as well as it is, especially defensively. You don't feel kind of an overwhelming amount of pressure where it could be a different situation with a different team where, okay, maybe we're making a switch in goal because we're giving up too many goals. That's obviously not the case here. A more comfortable spot to step into.
Right, and now it's really her position to lose, so to speak. So she played well last game, so see if she can keep it up.
This is Abby Borchers.
Nice through ball.
Sent across, couple players making the run. Phillips dealt with it well.
These first 10 minutes, I really feel like it's been Fordham that's keeping the ball down here. The field's tilted a little bit. Their pressure has been working.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I do think we've seen a couple times this year where for the first 10 to 15 minutes of a game, Yale's kind of pinned in its own end for a while, and then they make some adjustments and the game changes. That certainly happened against Stony Brook Thursday night.
And it's funny you should mention that because that's actually the conversation that Coach Martinez and I had previously before the game. She wants her players right now to analyze these first 15 minutes, see how Fordham's playing, because sometimes you watch film and you do your scout, but teams also adjust to every single game, right? So those first 15 minutes is about figuring out exactly what Fordham's tendencies are, and then how are you going to beat it.
Tina Tyke back for Jacobs, and now it's Meredith Phillips. Phillips cuts through the middle, connects with Cahalan, gets back towards her right foot, sends it out wide. Now out in front, punched away by the keeper, Green. First time she's had to do something this afternoon, and Green with a good aggressive decision in play.
Yeah, and the correct decision there. I mean, she punched it high and wide. Excellent decision.
Fordham trying to counter. Shamgoshin's going to come out and play this. To your point, so many times in the first couple matches of a year, you ask coaches, okay, what are you going to do against this particular opponent? And they say, right now we're really only worried about ourselves. But now both these teams are really not that far away from the start of conference play. So you do need to start executing a scouting report and a game plan for who you're playing against rather than this is what we do no matter who we're playing against.
Yeah, and these next few games are for both teams leading up to conference play, so they're important.
Ryan Lucas, good ball ahead, and Fordham has gone ahead. The Rams strike exactly 12 minutes in, and on the road, what a start this is for this young group.
And a little breakdown defensively on Yale, over 300 minutes with a shutout, and that ends right now. Just nobody closing down the ball, and it's Borchers who's able to put that in. But, I mean, she was just roaming free, right? Nobody really picked her up at all, and then she was able to get the ball right between the two Yale defenders, and there was nothing Shamgoshin could do.
Abby Borchers, the grad transfer from Cal, scores her fourth goal of the season already and third this week. She scored twice Thursday night against Stonehill, has one early here today, and Fordham leads 1-0. Borchers played 4 seasons at Cal, scored 5 goals. She scored 4 goals in 7 games at Fordham. Borchers playing her final year of eligibility at Fordham. Big reason why her brother Ben runs track at Fordham. So after spending 4 years in her home state of California playing for the Golden Bears, gets to spend time with a family member, and what a start to her season it's been.
Yeah, it was an amazing finish. You know, she had that open space. She was calm, composed, picked her head up, saw where the goalkeeper was, or in that case wasn't. Wide open net for her to score on.
Here comes Fordham on the attack once again. Borcher's shot was blocked by Tyke. It deflects back into the Yale area. still with Fordham here. Lucas shoots it across, but it's wide of the net, and a goal kick for Shamgoshin. And there's no doubt it's Fordham that's on the front foot to start this afternoon.
Yeah, everything's been down here. All the play has been in Fordham's offensive third. And I mean, you can see that shot there. I mean, Fordham is not shy. They are going to be shooting. They are going to be testing this first-year keeper, Anna Shagobshin.
This will be a throw for Yale, deep in its own end. So the shutout streak ends at just over 314 minutes. And now we'll see what Yale can do playing from behind for the first time since the first game of the year. Tanner Cahalan gives it over to Bell Golden, and now it's Butcher out wide with it. Butcher sends it to the middle, no one there for it. Green put a touch on it. Jacobs, pass was behind Meredith Phillips. Jacobs, though, steps up, keeps the ball for Yale. Phillips sends this across. Cahalan scores! Kind of kneaded in, and Yale has a quick equalizer.
And I'll say that's not your typical surface that you would want to use to score a goal, but honestly, it doesn't matter. She was first to the ball, nobody picked her up, and that's what you have to do sometimes. Don't even have to put any power or technique. It's just about redirecting it on goal. And how about that? Side netting with the thigh.
The senior scores her first goal this season and second of her career. And Yale's able to equalize extremely quickly here. Two minutes and 25 seconds after the Fordham goal, Yale has one. By the way, Ryan Lucas had the assist on the Fordham goal, her second of the season. And Meredith Phillips with the assist on the Yale goal, also her second of the season. Nana Young tied up and fouled. I guess, Christine, those are those little things with a young team that maybe you expect from Fordham, right? Conceding a goal basically right after you scored.
Well, I think part of it, too, is I really think Fordham's up-front line is very good, and their pressure is good. And I was going to say before that goal, if Yale can get by those first line of defense for Fordham, then they're going to find that open space. And before that goal happened, that's how the buildup began, right? They had that open space. They took advantage of it. They were numbers up and able to finish.
So a 1-1 score just over 15 minutes in this afternoon here at Reese Stadium. Booker comes back for this ball and plays it to Shamgoshin. Layla Booker was an All-Ivy League selection 2 years in a row. Yale gave this ball away, and Shamgoshin has to make a save on Tervo.
And that's that pressure I'm talking about, right? The front line of Fordham, they are putting excellent pressure on, and they're also angling Yale where they don't want to play. And it's making Yale a little uneasy here. But if they're able to break that first line of pressure, that's where Yale will have the advantage.
You know, we've talked about the 3 consecutive shutouts, and obviously things like that can be made different ways. If you look at Fordham's last game against Stonehill, frankly, you know, they dominated the Skyhawks and really didn't have to defend it all. That hasn't been the case for Yale. I mean, they've played very good teams. They've had to defend quite a bit. And here Shamgoshin has to make a second stop on Julia Acosta. So it's not like this is the first time they've had to defend their own goal in 3 weeks.
Right, exactly. I mean, they have not been running over teams. They've had the pressure. And as you see here, Fordham has the green light. They are going to be taking shots, and they're going to be testing Shamgoshin.
Acosta, freshman from Riverside, Connecticut, 3 goals already for her this season. Tervo and Acosta have combined for 7 of the 12 goals that Fordham had scored this year coming into this match. So that's 2 freshmen more than 50%.
And we're only in the first part of the season.
Yeah, A, it's a lot of goals, and B, it's a high percentage of your goals. Shots so far 4-1, favoring Fordham. Shamgoshen has 2 saves, Green nothing yet. Lucas on the ball once again. She'll turn back with it. Senior out of Evanston, Illinois, started her career at St. Mary's in California, and now in her 3rd season with the Rams. Sari Frankel back for Ella Guth now. It's a really good crowd on hand on perfect afternoon to come catch a match. Young's captain's armband is coming off, but she still did well to keep the ball away from Borchers. Both these teams have gone pretty deep into their benches this year. So we'll see today how many players are used. Sarah Martinez did tighten the rotation a bit Thursday night against Stonehill in a close defensive match. But it looks like Fordham's about to make its first sub here coming up. And the Rams earn a second corner.
Magnus is going to hold this sub out till after this corner kick.
Lena Johnson will take it. Sophomore from Croton on Hudson, New York. A10 all-rookie team last year. Pretty good ball here. Akins able to direct it away from goal. And this is going to be another corner for Fordham. Everybody packed really tight right in front of the goal, Christine.
Yeah, so these last few corner kicks, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, just look at that scrum on the goal line. That's difficult for a goalkeeper, right? They're not going to have their right to the ball. They're going to have to maneuver around all different bodies, including their own defenders, in order to get to the ball.
Once again, Johnson into that mixer. Tyke had the first touch, sent back forward by Lucas. Tyke again. Tervo's there, and Tina Tyke clears it.
And you see exactly there how hard it is for Shamgoshen to get that ball and punch it out. There's just so many bodies around her.
We're 20 minutes in, level at 1. Borchers with the goal for Fordham, and Cahalan with the goal for Yale. These teams come in with a combined record of 7-2-1 this season. So they've both really played high quality soccer so far in 2024. Finally, Fordham's going to make this sub. And it's Fernanda Cerna coming in, replacing Ryan Lucas. Cerna, another Connecticut native on the Fordham roster. She's from Stamford. Senior midfielder replaces Lucas, and shouldn't be a surprise based on the background of Magnus Nielrud that there are a lot of Connecticut players on the team.
Yeah, Magnus has been here, part of CFC Connecticut Football Club for a very long time. Probably since
longer than we're allowed to say, right?
Yeah, very long time. So, you know, and that's part of the coach's circuit, right? You know all those top players coming out of Connecticut. They're all playing in ECNL. You all know who they are and where they're going, and it's a small, tight little soccer here in Connecticut, that's for sure.
Approaching the midway point here in the first half. Alana Butcher. Tina Tyke drops it back for Logan Jacobs. Yale trying to build something here. Meredith Phillips on the wing. Golden back for Phillips, trying to go one-on-one. Phillips gets to her right foot, didn't get much on the cross, and Fordham's able to handle it.
And that was nice on-the-ball defense there.
Aiken stepped forward, though, kept the ball. Golden shot is a little tall. Looks like Yale is about to make a bunch of subs here. And Sarah Martinez has been doing that lately, where it's 2 or 3 that come on at a time. And it looks like it's going to be 3 first-year players who are about to come in all at once.
Yeah, Coach Martinez, she really feels they have the depth, and she's playing the long game, no pun intended, but she's playing for the length of the season, knowing that getting these players, these starters, few minutes below, and what happens is you take those players out now, and then they also have a 20-minute rest for halftime, and then they'll come back fresh for the second half. So go on.
For Yale, it's Vienna Lundstedt, Phoebe Ryan, and Reagan Exley all coming in. First time for Exley coming in as a sub this season. She had started every match prior, and Sarah Martinez felt like this might give her the opportunity to sort of assess the way the match is going before she actually participates in it.
Yeah, and I think it's a fair enough play for a first year, right? It's hard coming in and trying to analyze everything and play at a high level and have your technique be there. So now she's able to sit with the coaches on the sideline, get the iPad going, and go over the X and O's of the game just to make her not think as much by the time she gets out there.
Julia Acosta trying to get around Aikens, fires and scores! What a shot by Acosta, and Fordham's back ahead.
What a rocket of a shot off of Acosta's right foot and just burns through the side netting. I mean, this is something right there. I mean, wow, look at this leave her foot, right? Hits her laces, follows through, nothing but the side net.
4th goal of the season already for the freshman, Julia Acosta. And it's 2-1 Fordham. That play all started when Borchers, with good effort, came all the way back near midfield and took the ball away. And that created the buildup for Fordham, and then it's just a great shot from Acosta. Giudice gets an assist, and Fordham has its second lead of the afternoon. We've said it a bunch of times. In general, it's 8 freshmen and sophomores that start for Fordham. So it's a very young team, but you can see their skill right away.
And sometimes that helps when you don't have the nerves and you can just go out and play. You don't know any better, right?
Well, Yale responded extremely quickly after conceding the first goal. And we'll see how the subs do now, down 2-1. Reagan Exley gets her first touch here. Tries to chip it forward. No one there for it, though, and Green has it. A factor that'll be interesting to watch here, Christine, is, Fordham's played a couple high-scoring matches this year. Yale has not. This is the first time that they're in a match like this where there are 20 minutes left in the first half and 3 goals have already been scored. They had a 2-1 final against Hofstra. That's the most scoring in any Yale match this year. So it'll be interesting to see them play kind of a different style of match.
Yeah, and how they adjust to the adversity here. They're just so used to being good defensively and not having teams score 2 goals on them. So now they're going to have to, it's their turn now. They're going to have to be the ones to come back and put the ball in the back of the net.
Free kick here. Mars Aikens will take it. Goals in back-to-back games for Aikens. Three Yale jerseys converged on that. Ryan pops it into the corner. And it'll go off for a Fordham throw. Phillips takes the throw right away. Phillips back to the middle. Phoebe Ryan settles it. Jacobs now. Good step forward by Frankel for Fordham.
Phoebe Ryan just needs a better first touch there. She has to be ready to shoot.
Actually took the ball right back. See the kind of youthful energy of these players that Sarah Martinez just brought in.
Yeah, Rex is quality. I mean, she has the speed, she has the technique. She's going to go at players, she's going to dribble at players, attack their front foot. Yale's expecting big things out of her.
Scored a goal in the first game of the season against Hofstra. And one of the fastest players on the field every time Yale participates in a match. Good battle for the ball there was won by Fordham's Giudice. Back the other way and nearly a breakout for Acosta. That was really the first stretch, though, Christine, that the ball was on the Yale attacking side of the field for a sustained amount of time.
The ball. Rotate again. Work. Good.
Shots are 5-2 favoring Fordham. 4-1 for the Rams in terms of shots on goal. Last year, Fordham, Christine, was 4-10-4. So their next win will already surpass last season's total. They were just 2-5-3 in the A10, did not qualify for the A10 tournament. In fact, they haven't made the A10 tournament since 2019. But this seems like a year that can all change.
Yeah, and you can already see the difference between last year and this year. Those freshmen coming in, now the sophomores having a year under their belt.
Tervo forward for Borchers, creating space right to Shamgoshin. Not only the talented young players, right, that they've brought in, a grad transfer like Abby Borchers, who played 4 years in the Pac-12. That's a quality piece to bring into your starting 11. Young will restart things with just about 16 minutes to play until halftime. Vienna Lundstedt with the ball here, first year out of Georgia. Older sister Reagan also on the team for Yale. Both teams will make subs. It'll be Andy Miller who comes in for Yale, as well as Annika Bryant. And Riley Carroll will enter for Fordham. Carroll made her first appearance of the season Thursday night against Stonehill for the Rams, had 2 shots off the bench. She was A10 All-Rookie team last year. And for Yale, it's Bryant and Miller coming in. Andy Miller started the year a little banged up, Christine, but she started every match last season for Yale as a first year and got 15 minutes of action against Oregon State last weekend. Didn't play Thursday night against Stony Brook, but in the match now.
Yeah, and I think as the season goes on and she starts getting healthier, her minutes will increase once she gets off injury minute restriction.
Annika Bryant has been a mainstay over the last couple of years for Yale. She's appeared now in 4 of the 5 matches this season. Senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Golden got tied up there with Carroll and was called for the foul. One thing Fordham does, no matter really where they are on the field, is kind of take time to set up free kicks. Whereas most teams, if the restart was coming from the spot that was, they'd kind of just play it quickly and restart things. Takeaway by Borchers once again. She'll shoot quickly, and it's right at Shamgoshin.
That's a quick release on her shot there. It's tough for goalkeepers to figure that out when it's coming off her foot, and especially if the sun is going to play a part a little bit in this first half for Shamgoshen.
Cross comes on, and Shamgoshen out to play it. It's no surprise when you watch Borchers that coming into this match, she had already taken 17 shots this year.
She has a green light.
She had the first goal today for Fordham, and the second from Julia Acosta. For Yale, it was Tanner Cahalan with an unconventional kind of thighed shot that ended up in the back of the net.
A goal's a goal, right? Doesn't matter what surface is coming off of. Legal surface.
Exactly.
Sometimes it can be a hand, but
Young will take this throw. Later stages of the first half now. Lundstedt pokes it to Ryan. And now back for Andy Miller.
and such smart ball pressure from Fordham. If you notice, they're going to cut off half of the field so Yale doesn't go in and break into the open space.
Just seems like right now there's red jerseys everywhere every time Yale gets possession.
Yeah, they're closing down. As we see right here, they're just closing the ball down so quickly. It's giving no time for Yale to react.
Exley on the move. Exley wins the corner. Her speed certainly makes a difference.
And certainly if you're watching Yale and you've watched their games so far this season, you have to be nervous every time they get a corner kick if you're an opponent, knowing that they have a good chance to put it in.
Well, it's going to be Tanner Cahalan to take this corner with Butcher subbed off a couple minutes ago. So we'll see what she can do with this service. Cahalan to the near post, and it comes all the way through. And it was last touched by Fordham. It was off of Tervo. So another Yale corner.
Yeah, we'll go the other side.
I like that Matthew Mercier, our referee, not only was demonstrative that it was another corner, but he also put up the 1-1 to show who touched it.
Yeah. Communication is key for the officials as well, right? Like it's going to be Nana Young to take this now on this side of the field.
Young.
And
Let's do it again. Now, whether it's usually Ellie Rappel or Butcher, if they're taking the corners, they take them on both ends, but with both of them not in right now, obviously Yale is switching based on which side of the field it's on.
Yale corner.
Cahalan once again. This one more of a floating service. Right to Young, and she sent it wide.
That was almost a gift for Young right there. A ball in the box right at her feet. She didn't even recognize it. And, I mean, she did not think that ball was there and caught her by surprise.
Ashley Kirshner comes in for Yale. Fourth appearance for her this season. Junior out of Washington. Riley Carroll. Johnson rips it just over the net.
And you can see that late reaction. I really do think it's because of the sun that's in Shamgoshen's eyes. I mean, she just reacted a bit late to it. But where's the ball pressure, right? I mean, Fordham is just dribbling through defenders.
Under 10 minutes to play now in the first half. Teams have alternated goals to this point. It's Fordham ahead 2-1. Good work there by Annika Bryant. Sets up Booker. Trying to work her way through traffic. Still, it is Booker. Phoebe Ryan. And Fordham's pressure wins them a throw.
Yeah, and they've done well with it today.
I think Fordham also does a nice job not giving the ball away when they don't have to.
Correct. And it's their midfielders that have been picking off those passes. The front line puts the pressure on, and it's the midfielders who actually are the ones that win it.
Well, right on cue, they give the ball away. Here's Ashley Kirshner. Out for Lundstedt. Sends this across. Exley trying to get there. And she can't quite track that down, so it'll be a goal kick.
Not a bad cross in, just has to be a little further out so Rex can get on the back end of it.
Sub here for Fordham. Now, this is one of those situations where number 6 came in and they don't have a 6 on the roster.
Thought it was just us, but
It's actually the second time that's happened this year. And it hasn't been that long of a year. Nana Young connects with Exley. So we're being told that it is Bailey Canet. Here's Vienna Lundstedt. And the pass taken away. Canet normally wears 23, but she has the number 6 jersey on today. Here is Frankel. And Shamgoshin, who's had to handle the ball a lot today, Christine, comes out to get that one again.
yeah, and probably more than what the Yale coaching staff wants her to touch the ball for sure.
We said at the start of the match, how do you support a goalkeeper making her first career start? The first half for Yale today has probably not been that.
Yeah, right. We said don't let her touch the ball, and every shot needs to be blocked, and that's just not happening.
She's made 4 saves already. 6 shots on goal for Fordham. Yale's opponents this season average 3.3 shots on goal per game.
And that's because a lot of times they don't even get to the goal because those defenders have done such a great job at blocking it before it even enters the 6. So I don't know if they're just a bit slow on their ball pressure and closing down the players. But it's definitely something that they are going to talk about at halftime.
Andy Miller did well to control that. Pass was behind Jacobs, though. And here comes Fordham again. It's Borchers trying to get out of traffic. Carroll for Giudice. Sends it into the area just over Canet. And a goal kick for Shamgoshin.
And it just seems Fordham right now is the team who's closing down quicker, being a bit more aggressive closing down the ball, while Yale is kind of not as high intensity, I shall say, and almost just working on their positioning instead of worrying about the ball.
You know, you wonder if just kind of the time and day of this match is a little odd, and it might be leading to a bit of a lethargic start, let's say. 5 o'clock on a Sunday, you really don't play at this time very often on your home field.
And not for nothing, little insider info, I do know the food was very late, which honestly can have an impact, right? If you're eating... What was it?
Yeah.
I didn't make it.
I need to make sure not to order from there if it's going to be late.
Not calling them out. But what I'm saying is you are in a rhythm, right? You know 3 hours before kickoff, this is what you're doing. You know 2.5 hours before kickoff, this is what you're doing. If all of a sudden everything's thrown off by an hour and you're eating at 4 o'clock when you normally eat at 3 o'clock, it can definitely throw things off.
Well, give all the credit to Fordham, as they've scored 2 really impressive goals and have the 2-1 advantage. Outshooting Yale 8-3 and 6-1 on goal. Lundstedt works forward with it. Switches the field now. Reagan Exley there. Exley cut to the middle. Still Exley trying to feed it through. Finds Kirshner. Extra pass for Lundstedt, and Yale can't get a shot away.
Better build-up from Yale there. That's looking good. This is looking more like what we've seen the past few games.
Now, Yale, as we said, without Ellie Rappel today, which is a key. She's their top scorer 3 years running. So some other players having to step into different roles for this match.
And they are deep enough where that's fine, but you're obviously missing a key player. So they have to make those adjustments mentally and as the game goes on, and especially with the corner kicks and free kicks. And it's a perfect example of Fordham's defensive pressure there, right? Forwards are going to pressure, the midfielders are going to pick it up and win it.
Phoebe Ryan just sends this to the sideline. Three minutes to go until halftime. Goals today came in the early stages of this first half. Good play there by Miller. Fordham in the 12th minute, Yale in the 15th, and then Fordham in the 24th. Lundstedt for Kirshner, but able to run her down was Giudice. And this will go Fordham's way.
Tackle Ella!
You know, so many times when you're trying to rebuild a program, you'd like to see the players that were there early in their career and struggled turn things around by the time they graduate. Shamgoshin falls on this, and Borchers got knocked down. But sometimes you just kind of have to change everything. You need new players to establish a new culture, change the way things are done. And that's what Magnus Nielrud has clearly done at Fordham. Couple tough years to start, but clearly this is going to be a different season. Kirshner knocked that ball from Green away, but it will be a goal kick.
And honestly, I think that's any coach coming into a new program. Yeah, you want those players to have the same identity as you, same enthusiasm. Magnus knows what he's doing. He knows soccer. He knows the technical piece. He knows the tactical piece. He knows how to win. We know that. He's done it at Bridgeport, winning a national championship. So it's important that he is recruiting his type of players and the players he wants to make a successful program.
Magnus Nielrud was trying to get a sub into the game.
Yeah, and I think
Borcher's
still a little knocked up from colliding with Shamgoshin. And, you know, one of the things she has to realize is she's here playing, right? It's just kind of a thing we all know as players, right? The goalkeeper is always going to go down and low for the ball. The striker or the forward really needs to jump over because you're not going to win that battle.
Sophie Cipriano, the one who came in for Fordham. Just over a half minute to play in the first half. Good play by Bryant. Can Yale generate something here in the late stages? Bryant for Cahalan. Cahalan rips it right at Green. First save of the first half for Addison Green. And that'll likely take us to the break. Very strong 45 minutes on the road for Fordham. And they take a 2-1 lead into halftime.
Fordham coming out with high pressure, and it has worked so far. They stuck to the coach's game plan. Yale will definitely have to make some adjustments at halftime. Let's see what Coach Martinez and crew comes up and writes on the board.
Borchers and Acosta with the goals for the Rams. Cahalan with the goal for Yale. And it's 2-1 Fordham as we head to halftime. Well, it looks like a bunch of the subs that came on at halftime will start the second half for Yale. Sarah Martinez used 6 players off her bench in that first half. Magnus Nielrud used 4 off his bench for Fordham, and I'm sure he was very happy with the way that first half went.
You know what? I think he's happy as a coach because he had a game plan. He told me that game plan before the game, and the players executed. And that has to be one of the most fundamental positive things when you're a coach is you write it up, you give your players the opportunity to win, and then they follow the game plan and it becomes successful. And that's what happened to Fordham this first half.
It's very impressive how you get people to tell you things. Last night it was the ref. Today it's the coach. Last week you were telling everyone you talked to Landon Donovan.
I mean, it's truth. I don't, the gift of gab, right?
Exactly.
Can I have all those teachers take back all the detentions they gave me for talking all through school?
Well, Fordham a little late break in the huddle to start the second half. Yale's been ready for a few moments here. Interesting to see now that Green has to deal with the sun, whether that affects her. Shamgoshin, you thought, had a couple issues seeing the ball at times in that first half.
Yeah, and I would think Yale being home field that they recognize that.
Tina Tyke in the middle of the field. Goes out wide with it. This is Phoebe Ryan, the first year. And Phillips now. Phillips gets around her defender, sends across to the middle. Cahalan's there for it. Bounced off her left foot, though. Seemed like Fordham, I mean, it's a silly thing to say, but came into that first half and their effort level felt like it was at 110% for 45 minutes. That's not easy to match.
Well, and we've also seen this.
Look at Booker make the run all the way. Her shot, though, goes wide.
We've also seen this in the other games that we've covered for Yale, right? They wear the opponents down. So they're going to look okay in the first half, but because of their tactical adjustments, because of the substitutions they make, and when they make those substitutions, I feel it always gives them that upper hand in the second half. Let's see if that comes true today.
Green is kind of shielding her eyes as she takes this goal kick. Reagan Exley, and looked like Kirshner and Tyke were sort of both expecting the other one to go get that ball. Tervo over the top. In behind, it's Tervo. Lena Tervo off the side of the post. That's not a player you want to allow that much space.
And that all started from the miscommunication on the Yale side, which just sent Tervo into this space. And I mean, she just rockets it right off the post.
Tervo with 4 goals and 5 assists in her first 5 games as a collegiate. Missed 1 game earlier this year, but it's rare that she hasn't contributed to a goal yet in a match. By the way, Borchers is back in for Fordham. Remember, she was a little shaken up at the end of the first half, so that's great to see. Kirshner, and it's taken away quickly. A Yale throw here. Exley comes in with it for Lundstedt. It's now 9 shots in the match for Fordham and 6 on goal. 4 shots, 2 on goal for Yale. I guess the best way to put it is that the pressure that Fordham has kept up throughout the match, Christine, has caused Yale to maybe make some decisions with the ball that we're not used to seeing them make.
Definitely. I don't think they've seen this higher pressure. And if you look now, we saw the adjustment just a few minutes ago. As Fordham's going to force them one way, it's up to Yale to then go that opposite direction. Somehow you have to find that open space on the opposite side.
Meredith Phillips here for Kirshner. Back for Phillips. This is a nice build-up. She sends it across. Lundstedt settles it towards Cahalan. Tyke tries to step onto it. Fordham's going to end up with a goal kick.
And look, not for nothing, right? If you're going to be a forward at Division I college soccer, you have to be aggressive. You have to go after the ball. The fact that the ball is bouncing in the box and kind of the Yale players like, oh, you have it. No, you take it. Oh, you touch it. You have to be aggressive. You have to go after the ball. And I think that's what Yale is missing right now.
It's been a couple times where there's been
A couple
two
times,
players looking at each other.
Right, and it shouldn't be that way, right? You should have all three players doing whatever it takes to get to that ball, and they're just being a little too soft for me right now.
Without a couple of their usual key players this evening. So some different players trying to step up in this non-conference match for Yale against a very good Fordham group. Phillips forward. Phillips just wide.
And that's a good play by Phillips, right? That's being aggressive. That's attacking the defense, attacking the defender's front foot and getting a shot off. This is what Yale has to do more of.
Just a great run forward by Phillips, who already has an assist today. And Green really didn't react to that shot, so you wonder if the sun is playing a role.
Yeah, as it's going to sink down, it's going to get harder and harder.
Kirshner.
Great ball.
Really was. Phillips will get to this. Sends it to the middle, wins a corner, and this has been a really good 5 minutes to start the second half for Yale.
Looks like Nani Young's going to be one to take the corner kick on this side.
Yeah, Butcher did not come back in at the start of the second half. Some coaches will go back to the starting 11 and then go with the same pattern of subs in the second half. Sarah Martinez usually leaves her subs in that she brought in at the end of the first half, and that's what she did today. So Young, good ball here, punched away by Green. Cahalan over the net. But you can tell things have changed a little bit as Yale has come out on the front foot for sure to start the second half.
And we've seen that, I feel like, every game this year so far. They just analyze so much.
Lundstedt took this away, but apparently it's a handball. That was almost a huge play.
Yeah, huge mistake there.
I wasn't sure whether to call it a huge mistake or a great play, but either way, it was going to be a clear-cut scoring chance that gets taken away. It's also cooled off quite a bit since we started. Magnus Nielrud was wearing just a polo shirt to start. He's gone to a extra layer, Christine.
The Swede is putting on his layers. It's meaning business now.
I believe we said this Thursday night, but worth repeating for both these teams, obviously with Fordham being in the Bronx. After a really hot summer, it's become pretty much fall right away here in the tri-state area. So colder temps for these matches than you're used to on September 8th. Lena Tervo working against Young, couple Finnish players. Young was able to win that battle. It was off of Exley, though, and Booker just had to clear it. You know, Yale has 6 shots in this game and 2 on goal. 3 of the 6 and both shots on goal have come from Cahalan. She obviously has their goal. Lindsay Probst, well handled there by Andy Miller. Kirshner has her hands up for it, trying to run this down. And it will be a throw for Fordham unless there's a foul here.
And that type of ball, I think Yale should really be looking to play Kirshner's feet there.
So the foul was actually against Kirshner. So a free kick for Fordham. Abby Doyle will take this. 3rd season for her at Fordham. Started her career at Army. Played 1 season at West Point. Lundstedt back for Reagan Exley. And Young sends it to Shamgoshin. Much quieter start to the second half for Shamgoshin, which is a good thing for Yale. Layla Booker. Kirshner for Lundstedt. We'll see if Phillips can get to this.
Unlucky there, but great build-up. Great padding passes, just couldn't complete it in the end.
Does seem like Yale's playing with quite a bit more confidence and conviction in this second half.
Yeah, and they spend so much time analyzing the first half, as we see Rex here with the ball.
Comes right back to her, to the top for Tina Tyke. Got caught in her feet, and Fordham able to take the ball away. Now Tervo sending it for Borchers. Borchers cutting back to the middle. Miller handles that. Right back to Borchers, though. Went by her. Tervo fighting with Exley. Two first-year players go down, and the call goes against Exley.
And how about that combo? If Tervo and Borchers can connect a little more and work together more. Yeah, fair enough call there on Rex. That's going to be a deadly combo to keep your eye on throughout the rest of this season.
It's a grad student and a freshman for Fordham that really have combined to create a lot of chances this year. Ryan Lucas will take this free kick. Lucas sends it on. Booker with the first touch on it. Lucas steps back up and sends it wide. Really a great crowd here on this Sunday afternoon. None of the NFL teams that anybody roots for in this area are playing at the moment, so families coming out to check out this exciting match. Reagan Exley once again with her left foot to the middle for Kirshner. Cahalan once again. Cahalan gets around one defender, trying to send across through, and it's off for a corner.
And I like what Cahalan's done today. She's been aggressive. She hasn't been scared to go at the defenders. She's created a lot of opportunities for the Bulldogs.
4 shots for her now. And her second career goal came in the 15th minute. All 3 goals in this match scored in the first 23 and a half minutes. Nana Young once again on this corner. Young comes in for Tyke. The save was made. It's loose again, and Fordham got that ball cleared. Great stop by Green. She lost the rebound. Comes back to Kirshner. Fordham was trying to say she was offside. Kirshner still battling for it.
And some good chances for Yale right there. Unable to finish, but again, this is the other thing I'm talking about, right? You have Nana Young who was able to gets the service in. Yale gets ahead on it, but listen, I want to see all 5 Yale players, all 5 Bulldogs, take everyone and throw them in the back of the goal.
Cahalan for Lundstedt. Lundstedt, it's blocked. Gets another chance at it. Lundstedt for Tyke, and Green stopped it again. 2 big saves in the last couple moments for Addison Green.
And you can see the Bulldog build up, right? Their pressure, they're getting these chances, they're getting these opportunities. They just have to be able to finish, be aggressive. Everybody attack the ball. Put your defender in the back of the goal if you have to, as long as the ball goes in as well.
Andy Miller running back towards this one. Fordham trying to create another one, and Acosta ripped it just high. She is going to score a lot of goals in her career, isn't she?
That is quite the power she has. And not only that, but it's a quick release as well.
Rebecca Rote will come in the match for Yale, replacing Tina Tyke. Rote did not play Thursday against Stony Brook, but has played in the other matches this year. Look at this chance for Acosta.
Yeah, I mean, what a rocket. This ball just comes off of her foot.
The 2 goals, Christine, that Fordham scored as they're going to stop the clock here as a player is down for Fordham. But the 2 Ram goals, there was something of a build-up to them, but it was really just 2 great shots. And that is what this team has done all year. They've scored a lot of goals, came into today with 12 goals on the season. That's 2 per game, a very high number. Last year, Fordham was 7th in the A10 in goals scored, as Ella Guth is able to walk off under her own power.
Yeah, and you can even see the opportunities they've had, just like Acosta had one right there. I mean, just the power that's coming off her foot. They're not scared to shoot, and the more shots you take, the more shots that go on goal, it's just going to have a higher chance of scoring more goals.
Fordham substitution. Number 20, Mackenzie Reed.
Mackenzie Reed, another Connecticut freshman on the Fordham roster, comes in for the Rams. Reed is from Monroe, but played at Trumbull High School and part of that CFC that you mentioned. You kind of go through the research on the Fordham players, and a lot of them played for the same club, so they had played with each other before even getting to school.
Yeah, and through the academies and everything, they know each other, whether they're on the same team or not.
Phillips back for Cahalan. Tanner Cahalan to the middle for Kirshner, and it's in! This match is level!
Kirshner was just wide open on the doorstep. What a great timing of her run, completely onside when this ball is played. And we sometimes talk about Yale not connecting midfielders to forwards. Right there they connect, and right there they tie the game up. Excellent play, excellent run by Kirshner.
Meredith Phillips ended up down for a moment after that sequence, but back to her feet quickly. It's Kirshner's first goal of the season. And now the training staff will check on Phillips, but Kirshner equalizes the match 15 minutes and 9 seconds into the second half. And you could kind of feel that coming based on all the chances Yale had started to create.
Yes, exactly. They had so many chances these last few minutes. I mean, but what a run, right? I mean, if you notice, right, Kirshner, she was not running forward. She wasn't running north to south. She was running across the face of the defender to keep herself onside. As soon as that ball is touched, that pass, that's when you then cut in front of the defender and you go wide into the space.
So Phillips does have to come off here for Yale, and Alana Butcher replaces her. Butcher started the match and now back in. So 2-2 our score, and barely under a half hour to play. And we'll see if Yale can keep the pressure up that has created all these chances at the start of the second half. Comes out wide for Acosta, rips it to the middle. Young clears it away. Fordham 4-1-1 on the season, coming off a win Thursday night, 4-0 at Stonehill. Not a lot of resistance in that match, but that was off the heels of a 5-0 loss to Fairfield. And today, level 2-2 at Yale, which have won 3 in a row and hoping to make it 4 here tonight. Reagan Exley into the middle for Lundstedt. Rebecca Rote. Cahalan. It's Tanner Cahalan. That first touch was heavy.
And that's Rex in the midfield that started this passing pattern. And just a little 1-2 enables Yale to get by these defenders, right? We know they're high pressuring. Great through ball there, too. Just a little too much of a touch there by Cahalan.
Is there anything specific you're seeing as to why Fordham's having so much trouble marking players right now?
I think it's more that Yale has figured it out, right? So before they're playing a little slower, Fordham could pressure the ball, everyone could fall in behind. Now those 1-2 passes and Yale splitting defenders, so it makes Yale numbers up, and then you 1-2 and you're behind the defense.
Well, one thing we know for sure from watching Fordham this season, even if it has to come against the run of play, they have individual players that can just create goals by themselves. But certainly they've been on their heels since halftime.
And if you're a Fordham fan, something you should know is Yale has definitely been a second half team so far this season. So now they tied it up. Can they get another one to go ahead?
So it'll be a Fordham throw. Giudice tosses it in. Good touch there by Exley. This group that's had Kirshner, Lundstedt, Exley, all who didn't start the match, has really been effective for Yale tonight.
See, and this is a good play here by Yale. They build it up, and if they can get that ball switched to the other side, they'll have the advantage.
This is Lucas to the middle with it. And Young with a good decision with the ball. If Yale could win this match tonight, Christine, they would be the first Ivy League team this year to 4 wins. Right now, Harvard has the top record in the league, 3-0-1, but a Yale win would make them 4-1. Booker back for Nana Young.
And that first loss coming at Hofstra, their first game when they're still trying to figure out what formation, who's playing where, whereas Hofstra already had a few games under their belt.
Good play on the Fordham side by Probst. Frankel for Abby Borchers. Borchers has some room here. She's pushed down, and a free kick for Fordham.
And then that's that late defensive ball pressure coming over for Yale, which causes this foul for Fordham.
Julia Costa looks like she'll be the one to take this free kick, and we've already seen what she can do. She's looking to the sideline for direction on as to what to do here. Acosta, Shamgoshen has it. Not sure if this is exactly what it was, but all the way up here, we could hear the Fordham coaches yelling on target. So I'm sure Yale knows that was the plan too.
Let's hope.
After such a busy first half, Shamgoshen has had a pretty relaxed second half so far. Fordham has 3 shots, but nothing on goal yet since the break.
I think the referee is going to bring the ball back and say it was from the foul earlier, as Lundstedt was tripped up and then able to keep possession, but he felt like they lost their advantage.
It was odd because Sarah Martinez was not happy that that whistle blew, but it was in their favor. Hard to tell whether there was an advantage there or not.
Yeah.
But frankly, it didn't look like there was much of a foul either.
Good split.
A lot of hand fighting there between Borchers and Young. 11 fouls against Yale, 8 against Fordham in this match. Kirshner couldn't quite get to that ball. Sari Frankel. Fordham started to take back the possession of this match since conceding the second goal. By the way, Meredith Phillips now with 2 assists today. This one crossed in front. Sham Goshen, what a save! Borchers was looking for her second, and Sham Goshen denied her.
And she has just been playing amazing. I mean, such a reaction save. Point blank shot from 6 yards away. Sham Goshen able to get her hand up and just tip it over the crossbar.
Now we get to see that pile up.
Yeah, here's our scrum. Look, I like it. I like the tactics behind it, right? How is the goalkeeper going to get to the ball through all of these players, including her own defenders?
This one sent in. Comes all the way through untouched. Borchers tried to get ahead to it. Young clears it away. When Fordham sets up like that on the corners, they keep 3 players out of the scrum, the goalkeeper and then 2 defenders, and everybody else on the field other than the one taking the corner. So the rest of their players and all of Yale's players are basically all right on the goal line.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting, right? You're basically almost taking the goalkeeper out of the play because it's so hard for her to get to the ball, even if she does try to punch it out. The only thing is, in that scrum, I'd definitely move a player as that ball is kicked to the far post, like we just saw there. In case it is a long corner kick, they can head it back into the scrum.
21 minutes, 15 seconds to play from Reese Stadium. Justin Galanti, Christine Huber, and our entire outstanding crew in a level 2-2 match between Yale and Fordham. Remember earlier we said Fordham has never beaten Yale in 4 prior tries. Tervo for Borchers comes all the way through, and Fordham's back ahead. (3-2) as the Rams have a 1-goal lead for the 3rd time.
Excellent play here by the Fordham offense. And you know what it is? Borchers with the dummy is what confuses the defenders, and it's wide open. All she had to do was pass it into the goal.
Second of the night for Julia Acosta, 5th of the season for the freshman back in her home state. And Acosta now takes over the team lead with the 5 goals for Fordham. And with 20:55 left, the Rams are on top again. What a response when it felt like they had really been outplayed in this second half.
And honestly, you just can't count Fordham out anything with, and you even mentioned it, right? Their offense is so strong. They have players who know how to score. They have players who want to score. So anytime it's a tie game, you just have to be so concerned. Anytime you're even up by a goal, maybe even 2 goals, I mean, they can come back and score that quick.
Their head coach, Magnus Nielrud, was more or less self-deprecating about his offensive attack.
Okay.
But they're pretty scary.
You said that very nicely.
I think we have a clock issue here.
I mean, I think part of the things that Magnus is talking about is that they're freshmen, right? They're sophomores. They're young players. He has 8 of them starting. And it's hard to see, their ceiling, like how high, how good can they get quickly. And, you now have those sophomores who were able to get a lot of minutes last year who now have more experience than, say, some other sophomores in the league. So, I mean, it's just that last goal there and how all 3 of those players connected, including that dummy, it makes it going to be a great season for Fordham in scoring goals.
Phillips back in for Yale. Cerna the same for Fordham. 2 goals for Acosta today, and the other from Borchers. Kirshner stopped by Addison Green. Really had to fight that one off, Green did.
Yeah, you see that sun still in her eyes.
Kirshner had the other goal in the first, or in this half for Yale, and was looking for a second. 20 minutes to play. This is Julia Acosta once again. Got knocked down pretty hard there by Jacobs. And this will be a yellow card.
Yeah, just a little bit of a nice love tap, we'll say there.
Well, when somebody's already scored 2 goals,
Yeah, hey.
I guess you're going to make sure a third doesn't come.
Do whatever it takes to get them out of rhythm, that's for sure.
So a free kick for Fordham with the clock stopped at 19:52. Once again, Julia Acosta. Played at Greenwich High School. Now a star already for Fordham. And Shamgoshin had to make a save to prevent her from a hat trick.
Sam Goshen has been busy today. And I mean, just a great read by her. Little art of flying there from goalkeeper Union.
I think the quality of Acosta and Borchers is as impressive, I should say, as anybody we've seen this year.
Yeah.
Corner is deflected, still inside the 18. Tervo, and Kirshner comes away with it. This will be a Yale throw.
And you look at it, right? A lot of teams struggle just to have one legit goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at Fordham, they have 3 up top there that are magnificent.
They will cause a lot of problems in the Atlantic 10 this season.
Right, and preseason rankings, they're at 10th. You know.
Well, I mean, in fairness to whoever's voting on that, you're sort of just guessing with a team with a lot of freshmen, so no one had ever seen them play before.
Research, my friend, research.
If you were voting on that,
if I was voting, they would not be 10th.
You'd be watching the high school film.
I did not get the A10 media poll request this year.
Still plenty of time left for Yale to find another equalizer. They've already done it twice today. Another throw for the Bulldogs here. Trying to find a way to keep their unbeaten streak going. It's a 3-match win streak here. Rebecca Rote to the middle. Lundstedt. Lundstedt turns to her right. Her shot was blocked, and Green comes out to get the rebound.
Good play by Lundstedt. I like it. You know, she was patient, waiting to see where the defenders played her, trying to split them, just unable to get that shot off.
Vienna Lundstedt came in as a sub a little past the midway point of the first half, and she's been on ever since. Most minutes she's played so far this year. Ashley Kirshner sends this across, comes down for Exley, and Green parries it away. That was that same dummy play where Lundstedt let it go, and Green made a great save.
Exactly. If you can get this dummy play down for your teammates, right, there's no angle really for her to shoot, so leave it for a wide open Rex to come in, and honestly, I don't think Rex was expecting that ball. I think that's how well the dummy was.
Well, she put a good shot on, but Green made the save. Now she has 4 of those. Shamgoshin has 7. And Yale with another corner coming. 7th of the match. Young sends it in. Over Rote. She tries to run it down. Have to give you credit, Christine, because all these matches in a row we've seen where there haven't been many goals scored that Yale's been involved in. You said before we started today, I think there's going to be a bunch of goals scored.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're trying to get more than 7 goals that we saw last night in UMass Yale men's soccer. Why not get 8?
8 would be very hard at this point, but I wouldn't mind it.
I'm an overachiever.
Reagan Exley with the throw. Here is Frankel. Booker trying to recover for it. Able to get it to Nana Young. Exley to the middle for Lundstedt. Trying to find Exley again. It was intercepted by Lindsey Probst. It's now 28 combined total shots in this match and 17 on goal. Tervo, cross, put high. Did Miller get a touch on that, or is it a goal kick? Looks like just a goal kick. Acosta wants a 3rd goal tonight.
Yeah, she does. She is right there. She's on the doorstep. You know, that's the thing, like about goal scorers. Once they get one, it's not enough. They get that smell of it, they need more.
Meredith Phillips with some speed through the middle of the field. Keeps the ball, finds Young. Exley with 14 and a half minutes to play. Chips this one in. Was that a hand?
Oh,
Apparently not. It'll be a free kick for Yale, but wow, that was close. And that was inside the 18.
yeah,
so
that was
would have been a
inside the
penalty
box.
kick.
That was inside the box. I don't even. I'm not sure how you cannot call this.
Let's see. Oh,
I
wow.
don't know. I can't explain that one. I mean, because then it's the exact same, right? He just called the handball outside the box on the second player. I don't know. I'm guessing that he could not see it, and the linesman is on the other side.
Cahalan sends this in toward the back post, takes a bounce, and no one ever touched it. So a goal kick for Green. Sub for Fordham. Borchers, who was off briefly, will come back in.
That's really the only explanation I have is I think the official was on the opposite side, the center ref. The linesman is on the other side, and you can't see it with her, the way her body was, and the linesman here, I don't know. Can he call that? Can he wave his flag? He does have the microphone into the center ref.
Now, one thing to note is that Matthew Mercier, the head referee, stopped the clock there on the Fordham sub. Late in college soccer matches, the refs stop the clock on subs to avoid time wasting, obviously, but sometimes they don't start at this juncture. He's already started with that. So it's one thing to look out for. Tervo fires it across, and no one's there. "13 minutes left. Borchers back. Cleared away by Jacobs. Lena Johnson. Fordham doing a good job keeping the ball here. Fernanda Cerna, one of the veterans on this team. Tanner Cahalan trying to keep Cerna off her, and that is a foul and maybe more for sure. Cerna not only fouled her, but there was a little extra shove when Cahalan was on the way down, and not surprisingly, a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy yellow card right there, and just a little after the whistle extracurricular, I guess.
She said, if I'm going to foul you, you're going to know
going
it.
down. If I'm going to get a card, I'm going to make sure
Exactly.
it's warranted. And the referee kind of, after he gave it up, he did look at his card to make sure he pulled a yellow and not a red.
Yeah, he pulled it so quickly. You don't want to grab the wrong color. You sort of get the feeling, based on the way this match has gone, that Fordham's not going to be able to see through the next 11:40 without having to deny some Yale chances.
And I'm sure we'll see some Yale subs here at some point as well.
It's been a lot of the same unit the whole half for Yale. Sarah Martinez has been happy with the way that this group has played. But right now they find themselves down a goal just like they were at halftime. Lundstedt, and it's taken away from her. .10:55 to go. Sun is obviously gone. Lights are on now at Reese Stadium. And Fordham is potentially a few minutes away from a really, really impressive road victory. Comes in towards Borchers. She ended up down, but a clean challenge from Young. Certainly the record, very impressive to start this year for Fordham. 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. You could question who they played against to pick up those results, but there would be no doubt that this would be a very high-quality win on the road. Exley sends it ahead for Kirshner. She's able to settle it, waits for support, finds Lundstedt. Lundstedt, it's deflected, and Green makes the stop. Well, if you're wondering how we got here, it started early. Fordham scores first in the 12th minute, and it's been back and forth ever since, Christine.
Yeah, it really has been. As we see, Yale gets the goal there off the thigh. Both teams, a lot of shots on goals, which led to a lot of goals. Kirshner right there was able to finish, and then this last one with the dummy run enables Fordham to take this lead 3-2 right now.
That goal in the 70th minute from Acosta would be the winner if this is the final score.
And Acosta's been amazing offensively for Fordham.
Yeah, so impressive. Cerna has to be careful. Remember, she's playing on a yellow, but actually draws the call against Rote.
Yeah, Cerna just starting to get a little feisty there. Something to keep an eye on, considering she does already have a yellow.
Fordham starting to bleed this clock. These battles for the ball are really intense. Lindsay Probst. Probst trying to get to her right foot. Forced back by Young. Now the cross is popped up and handled by the keeper, Shamgoshin.
Drop in for Lindsay. Drop in for Lindsay. Lindsay deeper.
One thing that's really important when you have such a young group is to have proof of concept right away. And Fordham's gotten that this season. 4 wins in 6 matches to start the year. And the way they bounce back to that really poor loss against Fairfield has been even more impressive.
Yeah, and maybe that was kind of like a shake of the team as well. You know, you get out there and, I mean, there's no other way to say, you just get absolutely knocked off the pitch against Fairfield. And I'm sure this coaching staff came in there and said, look, we're better than this. We're better than this scoreline, but we have to go out and play every game. And this is what I feel like they've done tonight.
Phoebe Ryan just came back in for Yale. Fordham was trying to make a sub, and they will be allowed to. It is Lucas re-entering. Seems like there's some dissension between the head coaches as to whether this sub should be allowed or not.
Some little friendly chatter. Basically, Sarah Martinez is saying that they ran off the clock for a sub that never checked in. The referee does have the discretion of the time, so he can adjust whatever he would like.
Rebecca Rote couldn't quite control this ball, and Fordham just sends it down the pitch. Andy Miller back for it, sends it to Shamgoshin. A lot of minutes for Miller again today.
I was just going to say that same thing. It's good to have her back now. 53 minutes for her so far, and she's looked good.
Lena Tervo. Not much on that cross, and Booker clears it.
And again, this is a Fordham team, right? They were playing high pressure that entire first half. It's calmed down a little bit now that they have the lead, but that's a lot of energy expended. Can they keep it up for another 7 minutes, or is Yale going to make some subs and kind of make this last few minute push here to try to equalize?
Lucas knocked away by Booker. I don't think Fordham looks tired at all, though.
A little bit slow on their defensive pressure, but that also could be the tactics as well because they're up by a goal.
Remember on Thursday night, Stony Brook kind of played a similar first half to Fordham today, and then felt like the Seawolves looked pretty gassed by early in the second half. Right now, Fordham's just playing a game, a keep away from Yale. We're all the way down under 6:30.
And talking with Magnus before the game, it was one of the things he wanted to go out and he wants to play legit opponents before they hit conference play.
Acosta shown a yellow card, and she obviously looks surprised. I'm not exactly sure why.
I'm guessing time wasting?
Oh, I thought it was clear. I'm not sure why she's surprised.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yale was trying to restart with that throw-in, and she walked into Meredith Phillips twice to prevent her from doing it.
Yale for our nation of Fordham represents Julia Acosta.
Things are really starting to get a little grimy here. 6:10 to go. And Fordham still ahead 3-2.
This is when clock management becomes so important for both coaches.
And this is a learning lesson for Fordham. If you can see this win through, scored in the 70th minute to go ahead 3-2. Can you grind out the last 20 minutes to win a match on the road against a good team?
And like you said, keep possession. Take the ball to the corner. You don't have to score, but keep possession.
Here is Tervo. Cuts it back to the middle, stays with the ball, gave it away though.
And that's a bad giveaway, right? Tervo stays on this side. She can dribble to the corner and take off some crucial ticks on the clock.
Abigail Solomon gets right back to it. Solomon trying to get through a couple defenders, gets this ball out to Phillips. Meredith Phillips turns on the Jets, lost it over the line. Riley Carroll comes back in for Fordham with 5:01 to go. And she will replace Tervo, who doesn't seem thrilled about coming out. But as a coach, you'd prefer that.
And I think Tervo was looking for a goal today.
It's rare that she doesn't have one. 4 goals and 5 assists so far this season for Lena Tervo.
And I think one of the things you have to realize as a goal scorer, you're not going to score every game. That's just how it is. But I feel like she was involved in the offense a lot and had a lot of chances and put some great balls through. So she has to realize that that's also a success.
Did have an assist today. So Tervo keeps up a tremendous start to her career. 7 saves today for Anna Shamgoshin in her first career start. Green has 6 on the other side in a battle of rookie goalkeepers. Tanner Cahalan.
Get up, get up, get up!
You know, after this whole match had been up and down, chance after chance, Fordham's been able to kind of take the air out of the balloon the last 15 minutes. This clock is whittled down under 4 minutes so quickly.
And that's that smart tactical soccer that you need to win games.
You are absolutely outrageous, man. Fucking donut.
Here's Reagan Exley. Solomon goes back for Exley with it. Lundstedt trying to split a couple defenders. To the middle for Jacobs. Meredith Phillips back for Jacobs again. Cahalan with 3 minutes to play. Trying to connect with Rote. Shot from Solomon was blocked.
I mean, Yale certainly had their chances tonight to get more than 2 goals. I mean, now we're down to 2.5 minutes. Can they win this ball back and just get another chance or 2 down the field?
Fordham looking for its first win in program history against Yale. They are 0-4. Ava Niemeyer, the junior from Ridgefield, Connecticut, comes in for the first time for Fordham. Sari Frankel will come off.
Fordham substitution. Number 24, Ava Niemeyer.
A Yale throw coming. The Rams will be at Columbia in their next match. Yale will be at UConn. 2 minutes left.
Nice move.
Shots are 15-15. Very offensive day. Kept away from Exley. It'll be a throw for Yale. Vienna Lundstedt. Jacob steps forward. Chips it over the top. Clearance did not quite work, and off the double deflection, nearly on target off of Solomon. "70 seconds left. Abby Doyle.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining.
Fordham won just 4 games last season. They are less than a minute away from their 5th win of this season on September 8th. Young takes the throw. Borchers and Booker fight for it. Booker comes away with it. A half minute is all that remains. Tanner Cahalan with a goal for Yale today. Cahalan ahead for Exley. Reagan Exley wins a corner. One more chance for Yale. Everybody will come up, including the goalkeeper, Shamgoshin. 10 seconds to get this away. Cahalan sends it on. Top of the 6, headed wide, and Fordham is going to win. 3-2 the final. Fordham comes to New Haven and gets the victory.
And credit this Fordham team. They came out with a game plan. They stuck to the game plan. It worked. Their pressure from up top was just able to pick the ball off Yale in the midfield, hit so many offensive opportunities